I got that animal ambition. I got that animal ambition. I got that.
Hey y'all, Smoak, what's good? In this video, I'm gonna be watching 10 actual once-in-a-lifetime WWE matches by WrestleMania. There's been a lot of matches where have been like repeated multiple times, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 instances. Just for the sake of storyline, really. Obviously, it's sports entertainment. Like John Cena versus Randy Orton comes to mind, because they must have been going at it on TV at least, like about at least 15 or 20 times. And there's other matches that barely happen, like once or twice. Like I remember on SmackDown in 2009, there would be like multiple first time ever matches. I was like, oh really? Wow. I believe it was Chris Jericho versus Undertaker. I'm like, wow, they never faced off before. I could be wrong, but it was that match. And other matches said first time ever was like Chris Jericho versus Rey Mysterio. I was like, oh wow, that's what's up. Wow. Let's take a peek at this video.
Now, it's common in WWE for wrestlers to face each other time and time again. Due to the sheer number of shows that WWE produces in a calendar year, the chances of two wrestlers facing off more than once are extremely high. But from time to time, WWE actually delivers a match that only occurs once. There are several factors why the match in question could be a one-time deal. One of the wrestlers in the match could be a part-time talent and they have limited dates on their contract, or another reason could be that their match itself only took part to further a different story and never made logical sense for WWE to rebook the match. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 actual once-in-a-lifetime WWE matches. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, WrestleMania.com. Number 10. The Rock vs. Eddie Guerrero. On a random episode of Raw in 2002, WWE delivered an epic dream match between The Rock and Eddie Guerrero. The match between the two all-time greats marked the first and only time in WWE history that the two collided 1v1, and their chemistry was instant and memorable. The two worked incredibly well together in the ring, and there was a push online at the time to see the two have a featured feud against each other. The match was evidence that Guerrero was a legitimate main eventer, and it was time to push him to the next level in WWE. The Rock took to his Instagram page in 2019 to comment on the match, and as expected, the Great One praised the match and had lovely comments to make when it came to Eddie Guerrero. Check out Eddie's nasty rock bottom counter. He was a bad dude. Found this throwback gem of my world title match with one of the GOATs, Eddie Guerrero, insanely talented wrestler. I loved wrestling him and always admired his relentless in-ring style and intensity. Most importantly, he was a good man and taken from us way too early. Miss you and thanks for the house, brother. Number 9. Kurt Angle vs. Batista. On paper, a rivalry between Kurt Angle and Batista made a ton of logical sense. Angle had chemistry with just about everyone and Batista was able to truly bring it.
This might have been Evolution Batista
in the ring when the time came. Shockingly, the two had only wrestled once in singles competition, and it occurred on Raw in 2005. The match was brief, but what was presented on screen, the in-ring action was strong. The match.
Matter of fact, I must have seen this match like a year ago or something on Peacock when I was looking at Batista's world title run.
Broke down when Triple H and Ric Flair interfered, offering a disappointing end to a potentially show-stealing match. Shortly after the matchup, Batista's world champion was drafted to SmackDown, whilst Angle remained on Raw.
Yo, that night, man, when you see Kurt Angle dripping sweat off his head, yo, that building was hot, bro. Cause you had Ric Flair, you had Triple H, you had Kurt Angle sweating bullets. I think Kurt had a blazer before he went on stage, but he was like, hell with this, it was so hot. Like you started like, yo, that shirt was drenched. I was like, damn.
The two were featured on the same brand for more than a few months, then it would have been entirely possible that WWE would have delivered an extended rivalry between the two legends. Number 8. Rob Van Dam vs. Rey Mysterio. Now you would have think that Rob Van Dam and Rey Mysterio would have wrestled a dozen times in WWE, especially when you take into consideration that the two were in WWE simultaneously for a number of years. However, the reality is that the two have only wrestled once, and it came at the WWE.
And I want to I don't think, yeah, Rey Mysterio never went one-on-one against Triple H. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
WWE versus. However, the reality is that the two have only wrestled once, and it came at the WWE versus ECW head-to-head show. RVD managed to get the win in a short yet enjoyable match, and it would have been nice for WWE to revisit the pairing and book them to have more matches on Raw or SmackDown. The likely reason why the match didn't occur more than once was because both were babyfaces for the entire time that they were in WWE concurrently.
Yeah.
WWE keeps babyface versus babyface matches as special as humanly possible, so it's unlikely that more matches between the two would have ever been on the drawing board. Number 7. Goldberg versus Shawn Michaels. It's well documented that Goldberg's WWE run between 2003 to 2004 wasn't the greatest thing in the world. Goldberg wrestled names such as The Rock, Chris Jericho and Triple H, and the match quality and offer was ultimately disappointing. But one of the more forgotten matches of Goldberg's first WWE run was his 2003 match with Shawn Michaels on Raw. Going into the match, there was hope that Goldberg could deliver his best match to date, as after all, this was HBK, and HBK having a bad match in 2003 was next to impossible. The match was fine, but the babyface versus babyface storytelling was awkward in places, and the two without question had a lack of chemistry. WWE would also opt for a non-finish as Batista interfered in the match by attacking both men. Number 6. Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan. Icon versus Icon collided at SummerSlam in 2005 as Shawn Michaels took on Hulk Hogan for the first time ever. This was a certified dream match, and fans were curious to see how the match would play out. The one-time only match was never intended to be a one-time deal, as he had planned to do a number of matches between the two, with them exchanging wins. However, Hogan cancelled these plans and opted for one single match at the SummerSlam event. Infamously, HBK would take great offense to Hogan's attitude, and he would proceed to hilariously oversell everything Hogan did in the match. Was it unprofessional? Well, it's up for debate, but it certainly made for a fascinating matchup. Whilst it was a letdown that Hogan vs HBK was a one-time deal, it wasn't all bad, as for the feud, WWE would turn HBK heel for the first time since he returned to the company. Whilst this run would be brief due to Hogan dropping out of the storyline, HBK's heel work was exceptional, and he cut some of the most compelling villainous promos of his career during the time. Number 5. Edge.
There's a reason why Triple H is called the Game. There's a reason why Ric Flair is called the Man. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the reason why Shawn Michaels is called the Showstopper. The dude was phenomenal.
Versus Kevin Owens. During Edge's final WWE run, he was able to have a number of dream matches with the likes of Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and even Finn Balor. However, one of the matches that fans urgently wanted to see out of Edge's run was a match with Kevin Owens. Unfortunately, the match has only occurred once in WWE history, and that took place at a live event in late 2021.
Damn.
The two faced off in a brutal steel cage match in Madison Square Garden, and judging by fan reports from those in attendance, the match was excellent. It was a massive shame that WWE never delivered the match on TV or on pay-per-view, and with Edge now being a full-time AEW talent in what is said to be his final run in wrestling, the match is never likely to take place.
Facts.
Number 4. Jeff Hardy vs John Cena. In the summer of 2008, WWE decided to seemingly out of nowhere book a dream match for Raw.
2008.
Jeff Hardy would face John Cena on the show, and at this point in time, Hardy's popularity had skyrocketed, so it was an interesting and bold creative move to book him to face the top guy in the company. This was the only time in...
I wonder if this was like draft night or something, cause nah, I mean there was no doubt it was like a 3-hour special of Raw, cause Jeff was on SmackDown at the time.
both of their decorated careers that they've faced one-on-one, and the match was one of the best TV matches of 2008. The contrast their styles worked in their favor, and they delivered a fine match that could have potentially led to a rivalry between the two. Cena picked up the win, which wasn't exactly a surprise, but Hardy shined in the match, and it was presented as if Cena had worked extra hard to put Hardy down for the 3 count. It goes without saying that a featured feud between the two would have likely involved one of them turning heel, and WWE would have no desire to deliver that in the summer of 2008. Number 3. Triple H vs Daniel Bryan. It's rare for a WrestleMania event to include a one-time only, once-in-a-lifetime encounter. However, WrestleMania 30 was an exception to the rule. WrestleMania 30's opening match saw Triple H take on Daniel Bryan for the first time ever. This was the only time the two had ever wrestled, and the match was without a doubt one of the matches of the night, and arguably one of Triple H's finest matches ever. As always, Triple H's heel work was captivating, and there was nothing better in 2014 than Bryan's babyface work. Unlike other matches on this list, WWE did book a rematch between the two for the next night on Raw. This match would be for Bryan's newly won WWE World title. However, the match never managed to get going, as there was interference from the Authority and then the Shield, so it can't truly be labeled an official WWE matchup. Number 2, Brock Lesnar vs CM Punk. When WWE booked Brock Lesnar vs CM Punk for the 2013 SummerSlam event,
I remember the feud, but I don't remember the match itself.
fans had high expectations. Lesnar traditionally was able to have outstanding matches with smaller opponents, and Punk was delivering classic after classic in 2013, already having notable matches with the likes of John Cena and The Undertaker in the respective year. The match itself was incredible, and it was even better than fans expected. Even though Punk lost, he looked like $1,000,000 as Lesnar sold Punk's offense with conviction and meaning. It's a huge shame that Punk departed WWE in early 2014, as it would have been wonderful to see the two former world champions run it back, as it was a vocal push for a rematch for fans to see. All the one-match business aside, this is truly one of the greatest matches of both of
My bad. I'm just thinking about something else. My bad.
their careers. All the one-match business aside, this is truly one of the greatest matches of both of their careers, and the match is going to be continued to be celebrated for many years to come. And number 1, Roman Reigns vs Batista. A Roman Reigns vs Batista is a matchup and a feud that could have made WWE a considerable amount of money. The problem is that the stars never aligned for a feud between the two, but the two did have a 1v1 showdown, and it came during the feud between the Shield and Evolution. During the acclaimed rivalry between the two factions, Reigns and Batista would face off in a singles match on Raw in 2014, and the match came to an end when both factions interfered. Whilst the match was presented as somewhat of a big deal, this was a few months before Reigns was given a substantial solo push, and unfortunately Batista would exit WWE just a few weeks after the matchup, meaning that WWE never had the option of booking a rematch between the two. But there you have it, folks, 10 actual once-in-a-lifetime WWE matches. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.
Yeah, that was a cool vid. Yeah, what makes sports entertainment special in terms of the in-ring action is just like the rare one-on-one match that you'll get to see. Like WrestleMania 28 was so big because it was, you know, one era to the next of John Cena being ruthless aggression and The Rock being the Attitude Era. And mind you, they're not even that much older from apart. The Rock is probably like 6 years older than John Cena. And then the following year, it was cool, but the first one was always special because I forgot how long it was, but I remember there was finishers after finishers. It was just like it was looking like a bit video game-esque. It was weird. And that's not even just pro sports entertainment. That's just like combat sport, bro. Period. Like Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Come on, bro. They waited years for that fight, and it finally happened in 2015. You know, Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. Now, everybody and their grandmother knew who was gonna win that fight, but they use sports entertainment elements into the fold on just trying to generate more dollars. You have two great combat athletes going one-on-one in a boxing ring, in which Floyd Mayweather specialized, and he won. You know, maybe he could have won sooner. But Floyd, you know, knocked him out in the 10th round. You know, just for show to grab the audience's attention, and that's just business. You know, they'll do the same thing in NBA, do the same thing in NFL if they can. You know, I heard recently the NBA, you know, the referee is a bit suspect from what I heard from interviews and stuff, because they have a meeting at the league office and tell them, all right, we're gonna go this certain way with the officiating. Make sure this guy's on the line this time. Make sure to call that. Don't call that. I'm just like, I heard that. I was like, wow, bro. But, you know, as fun as the sport can be, at the end of the day, it's just a business. Anything can happen in sports entertainment. Like, we know it's already scripted and predetermined, so you can't really hate on that, you know? So, they can do whatever the hell they want with it. As long as it makes logical sense, it's fine by me, personally. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace, I'm out.